2015. We are meeting here together today for the regularly scheduled board meeting of the Board of County Commission for Suwannee County. I've asked Dr. Alvin Jackson to lead us in the invocation and the pledge this evening. Please rise.
Let us pray. We stand before you, Holy Spirit, conscious of our sinfulness, but aware that we gather in your name. Come to us, remain with us, and enlighten our hearts. Give us light and strength to know your will, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives. Guide us by your wisdom, support us by your power. For you are God, sharing the glory of Father and Son. You desire justice for all. Enable us to uphold the rights of others. Do not allow us to be misled by ignorance or corrupted by fear or favor. Unite us to yourself in the bond of love and keep us faithful to all that is true. As we gather in your name, may we temper justice with love so that all our decisions may be pleasing to you and earn the reward promised to good and faithful servants. You live and reign with the Father and the Son, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's what happens when you're focused on getting the meeting going. Just a little house cleaning here this evening. Thank you for taking part in your local government. There will be an opportunity for you to address the board here this evening if you'd like. In the foyer area, there is a public comments and concerns card. I encourage you to fill those out, and we'll consider that during that area of our agenda this evening. It asks that you silence all your cell phones if you haven't done so already. Board members, please silence yours as well as the vibration due to the microphones. Once again, thank you for taking part in your local government. Item number 1 on our agenda here this evening is the approval of minutes from our regularly scheduled meeting on November 17th, 2015. I'd like to ask the board at this time if there are any changes or corrections that need to be made to those minutes.
Motion approved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Fleming, seconded by Commissioner Gamble. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Moving right into our consent agenda area of our, well, one other thing, let me back up just a little bit. We've had a request to pull item number 8 from your, under general business. Item number 8 will be pulled for either consideration at another meeting or possible workshop. Moving into the consent agenda area of our agenda, items 2 through 5. Are there any items that anyone wants to pull for individual consideration?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Harris.
I'm not going to ask the board to pull it, but item number 3, the recommendation on award of bid for the Dowling Park Library, I'd like for the board to also include, if the board votes in favor of that recommendation, that they include authorization to execute the contract and issuance of notice to proceed at the appropriate time.
All right. So noted, whenever, if you so choose to approve the consent agenda, it will include those items as requested by staff.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, with regard to item number 5, I would like to have item 5 pulled and considered with the additional agenda item because they tie together, which is the additional agenda item number 2, which is with the tie-in with the interlocal agreement.
Okay.
So I'd like to have the 2 items considered together.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5 has been pulled for individual consideration. Do I hear a motion to approve items 2 through 4?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Commissioner Gamble. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Sessions. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Considering item number 5, approval of small county outreach program agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for new construction on Haynes Avenue from Express Street to Craven Street, and adoption of enabling resolution. The attorney has requested that we consider at the same time an additional agenda item relating to that. Consider approval of interlocal agreement between Suwannee County and the town of Brantford regarding Florida Department of Transportation Small County Outreach Program, funding for the construction of a portion of Haynes Avenue, providing for project administration, construction and funding, and completed project maintenance for enhanced transportation services to be provided to the citizens of the town of Brantford and Suwannee County. We'll turn our attention to Jimmy Pravat, County Attorney.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason I'd like to have it separate because, one, we're handling the program, the SCOP program for the town of Brantford. Brantford actually made the application and got the SCOP grant, but they didn't have the staffing and administrative capabilities to be able to handle the administrative requirements under the program. So the county and the town have gotten together and have kind of doled out what those administrative responsibilities will be. Basically, what we will do is do the paperwork portion of it and being able to handle the grant and make sure that everything goes forward. The town will still retain the responsibilities for the design, construction, building of the project going all the way through. But we needed to have a separate interlocal agreement between the town and us to define those responsibilities. So if we consider the interlocal agreement first, then we'll know what the responsibilities are, and then we can go forward with the actual execution of the SCOP agreement. Of course, the town of Brantford will not be able to consider the interlocal agreement until their meeting next week. I think it's a week from tonight. So if we go ahead and if either or both are approved, I would ask that you approve them contingent upon the town of Brantford also approving the interlocal agreement.
Okay, excellent. So let me just be clear on this. This is, let's see, Haynes Street, okay. So within item number 5 and item number 2, which is one on the additional agenda items, when we consider this, it will be done together in one motion?
No, sir, I need them to be done first as the interlocal agreement, which is the additional agenda item, and then move back to item number 5 to approve it. And again, both of them to be contingent upon approval by the town of Brantford. Let you know, I've already talked with counsel for the town of Brantford, and we're all okay on the language unless y'all have gone through and y'all see something that y'all need to be do separate, and then we could work on it between now and then.
Okay, excellent. Are there any questions of the board to Mr. Pravat regarding this matter?
No, sir.
Hearing none, the additional agenda items before you in your package there we're considering right now is item number 2. What are the wishes of the board regarding the approval of the interlocal agreement between Suwannee County and the town of Brantford contingent upon their approval at their next meeting?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Commissioner Sessions. Do I hear a second?
Second. Be contingent upon Brantford's
Right.
approval next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Second made by Commissioner Wainwright. Do I hear any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Moving back up to consent agenda item number 5, approval of small county outreach program agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for new road construction on Haynes Avenue from Express Street to Craven Street, and adoption of enabling resolution contingent upon the approval of the town of Brantford at their next meeting. What are the wishes of the board?
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wainwright, seconded by Commissioner Gamble. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, we made it through consent. Constitutional officers' items, there are none indicated on the agenda, but if there's any constitutional officer that would like to address the board at this time, please come forward to the podium. Seeing none, we'll move on to proclamations and presentations. I don't have any noted, but if there's any board member that would like to make any at this time, it would be appropriate. Hearing none, thank goodness, we have no time-specific items tonight. That's nice. Moving on to commissioner items, item number 6, discuss with possible board action placing 1 cent surtax on 2016 ballot for fire protection in lieu of fire assessment, brought to us by Commissioner Ricky Gamble. We'll turn the floor over to him.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Before Thanksgiving, I was in a workshop at a Florida Association of Counties meeting. I believe Mr. Sessions and Mr. Fleming were at it too, and they brought up something that the state passed in 2009. It was a different option to pay for the fire services within a county. Right now, we have a fire assessment that's on vacant land and on homes and on businesses. The way the statute reads is that you can place up to a 1 cent sales tax, additional sales tax, through referendum, has to go before the public, they have to vote on it and approve it, and then it would come back to the board to be set. But if that is approved, then that removes, by statute, the fire assessment. So then that burden is no longer on the individual homeowners and the property owners. The statute also goes on to say that if you collect more than what your fire budget is, say you have a $2 million fire budget, as we currently do, 1.9, and I believe sales tax brings in 1 cent, bring in roughly $3 million, you would have an excess of $1 million. It says that in the next year's budget, that you would have to offset your ad valorem taxes by that $1 million. So the sales tax is a way to put the fire assessment in a more, in my eyes, a fair way to do it. And it also would help if you have excess at the end of each year to also alleviate some of the pain of the millage rate. I didn't put this on the agenda tonight for the board to consider putting this on the ballot. No county has ever adopted this. There's 2 in the state now looking at it on the 2016 ballot. I just wanted to make y'all aware of it, open it up for any discussion, give y'all some time to mull it over, think about it, do some more research on it, and see if we could have staff bring it back up in maybe the last meeting in January for us to talk about it some more. I know as the county continues to grow, our fire services are going to continue to grow, and it's just going to become more and more of a burden on the homeowners. And I do understand that there's some benefits to adding to a sales tax, but there's also some maybe not some benefits as far as in the eyes of some businesses. So it's not something I take lightly, but I would like the board to at least look at it and consider it.
Did they during this thing, did people ask some questions? I don't want to ask you any questions if you don't feel comfortable answering them, but I have.
I mean, ask, and if I can answer them, I will.
Okay.
I mean, I asked them a bunch of questions in the meeting.
Oh, okay, good, okay. My question is in relation to the implementation of it. So if like we put it on the ballot was approved, that would be 2016 ballot, then how would we go into that type of?
Well, but I didn't ask them that question, but I was talking with finance today, and before I go into this, I will tell you, I know enough about it to be dangerous. But the way we were talking about it when I was talking with finance was if it passed in 2016, and then we approved it, we would already be in the 2016-17 budget year. So the earliest I would see that it could probably take effect would be the 17-18 budget year. But I really haven't got that far into looking at it. That was just in a brief discussion with finance today.
And what, how does this affect our EMS as opposed, these funds cannot be used, still can't transition?
The way I understand what I read in the statute, it is exactly like what we currently have with the fire assessment. These funds would be strictly limited to fire.
Okay.
If we set a budget each year of 1.9, and then we collect 3, then everything that we collect over has to roll over into next year's budget and be used to offset the millage rate. So let's just say a meal brings in $1 million, and we're at 9 meals, we would have to reduce back to 8 meals.
Okay. All right. Are there any further questions on the board?
Not at this time, Mr. Chairman.
I would just ask that y'all take a serious look at it, and I don't think we need to workshop it, but I would like to have a serious discussion early next year about it to see if we want to place it on the ballot. I asked Supervisor of Elections, I believe, to be on the general election, our deadline would be to have the language to her for her approval by, I think she said May.
Well, my thoughts are that any time that you can more fairly distribute it, I'm always in favor of national retail sales tax as opposed to our income tax, so I'm in favor of looking at it. On the surface, it sounds really good, so I don't know what the balance of the board, I mean, Mr. Sessions, you were there.
I was there. The benefit that I see is anybody coming through the county buying anything is going to help pay for our fire assessment, so we're getting benefits from outside the county too, if people are buying things within the county. And as our economic development builds, it's just going to be better for us and the taxpayers.
So we would go from, say, 7-cent sales tax would be an 8-cent. We'd have
But you
8.
can go up to 1. It doesn't say you have to set it at 1, but it allows you to go up to 1. So, I mean, I would propose putting it on the ballot as 1 cent, and then the board can set it where they see appropriate. And, I mean, there's going to be the case made that adding 1 cent, and a legitimate case, that if you add 1 cent to the 1% to the sales tax, that it may deter people from making purchases within the county.
Well, I'd say larger person.
Yeah, larger purchases. And I pulled up like how many commercial fire accounts we have, and we have 265. And off those 265 businesses within the community, within the county, we collect off the fire assessment $300,000 off of just them 265. So then it becomes, well, it's what's more beneficial to them? And I'm not the one to answer that question. I mean, that's why I would go before well, it has to go before the public to be voted on. But that's some of the things you have to take into consideration. Is that 1% going to be detrimental to a business? If it is, I don't want it to be. But collecting $300,000 off of 265 businesses is pretty significant as well. And that number is going to continue to grow as we continue to provide fire services.
Yeah. I like the idea of a gradual, like giving us some time to roll into that, because I know I had some feedback on this in regards to whenever we started implementing the fire assessment, it came at kind of like the end of the year, and businesses didn't have, I say businesses, I'd say people that had rental properties and stuff, they didn't have time to adjust to the fire assessment. Some of them came up with big bills. So I think that just planning for the roll-in of, if the public decided they wanted to do it, would be, it sounds reasonable to me.
I mean, if you just look at the numbers, you got residential fire, so houses in the community, we have 13,000. There's several people in the community that own multiple homes, so that the actual people paying taxes is less than 13,000. But so you got, say, 10,000 people paying a fire assessment in a county of 44,000 people. So it's unevenly distributed. I mean, we don't have to sit here and to beat it up to talk about it tonight. I just want to be aware of it.
I like talking about it.
And
I like talking about sales tax.
I'll just make one comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And I said I wouldn't, but my knee-jerk reaction is businesses that sell big-ticket items.
Right.
I know this goes without saying, but that can be a deterrent. So,
Well, the other side is the tax relief on people that
their
own
business.
tremendous real estate folks here.
It's
that-
going to be something that, thankfully, the voter's going to have to vote on it, and they're the
Right.
ones that will ultimately decide it, but it goes to an individual basis of how it's going to affect businesses, but I think it's going to be, I look at sales tax wherever I go. I mean, that's just me, but
Yeah. All
I
right.
don't like paying it, period.
I don't even look at it.
I don't look at it, but I do look at that $100 on my.
I make sure I get my
Tax
ag
bill, I
exemption
got-
everywhere I can, so I'm just trained to look for it, that's all. It just,
All right.
anyway.
Moving
That's
on,
enough.
moving on. That was good. Thank you, Commissioner
But-
Gamble, for bringing.
I will tell you this, because this gives you something else to consider too. One of the things that it does do, it doesn't give any municipality within the city or within the county a choice. If we decide to fund fire this way, the city will fund their fire this way. if the town of Brantford funds the fire department, they will have to fund it this way.
That's the way it goes, though.
That's just, yeah.
I like
I
road
mean,
taxes.
municipal, local, state, federal. I mean, it's just the way it goes. All right.
They don't have an opt-out clause in there. If we do it, they have to do it.
That's it. That's it. All right, moving on. County attorney items. Did you have anything in addition to, did you want to talk about this, or do you want to do it later?
Let's do it later.
Okay. Moving on to general business, item number 7 on your agenda, 2016 annual committee appointments. Gentlemen, you received your appointments. There will be one change with regard to the airport, and that will be forthcoming due to the EAA designee. That will probably change, but everything else should be pretty self-explanatory unless you have any questions.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wainwright.
Although I'm perfectly fine with the committee appointments that you've given me, this Suwannee River Valley Coalition for Progress, I don't know that that even exists anymore.
I'm not sure
I
either.
thought we combined that with the development.
I
Jackson, do you know? Because there used to be the Development Authority and the Council for Progress. Greg Scott, maybe you can answer. I thought I saw you tonight here.
I don't remember it being on last
You don't know? I don't think the council or the Coalition for Progress still exists, but.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll
I
try to
did,
visit.
nobody has informed me otherwise, but if that,
I haven't been notified of any meeting times for that particular committee,
okay,
ever.
sounds
Well,
good. Well, I'll look into it.
Put it on your resume.
Yeah.
I ain't looking for no other job.
Introductory statements when you speak, something like that. All right, moving on to item number 8, discuss with possible board action amendments to the personnel rules. We pulled that item, but let me just say something about that. I know many of you probably came here tonight prepared to speak to this, and so what I will say is that there is, I think that there's a wealth of information that can be extrapolated from some of the information. I've been working with finance, trying to work up some options for us, and I'm sure you guys have done the same. So don't think that we haven't been working on it and we're not interested in it, but it will come. We'll be back before the board here in the next few weeks. I do agree. I do think so. Just rest your souls. Your work is not in vain. Moving on to item number 9, additional agenda items. We've already considered item number 2 and the additional agenda items, so that would leave us 5 left, and I'll read them into the record as such. Number 1. Request permission to close the Live Oak, Jasper, Madison, and Brantford branch libraries on Saturday, December 26th. The remaining 4 libraries are normally closed, and that is from Betty Lawrence, Director of Libraries. Item number 3, adoption of resolution for the Suwannee County Local Mitigation Strategy. That was given to us by the Honorable Tony Cameron. And then item number 4, request to waive the rental fee on Exhibition 2 for Antoine's Mentoring Through Music program. And then item number 5, authorization for the chairman, signature on letter to DOT authorizing execution of supplemental agreement to include a portion of 104th Terrace in the paving of Hogan Road with scrap funds. And then item number 6, USDA resolution and approval for the loan for the library construction in Dowling Park through the SVEC conduit, for lack of a better term. Does anybody have any problem with any of these items? All right, going back up to number 1, request permission to close the Live Oak, Jasper, Madison, and Brantford branch libraries on Saturday, December 26th. The remaining 4 libraries are normally closed. I don't know that we need much discussion with this. Gentlemen, what are your wishes?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve made by Commissioner Fleming, seconded by Commissioner Gamble. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item number 3, adoption of resolution for the Suwannee County Local Mitigation Strategy. I will remind the board that we've already approved this. We just simply need a resolution to include in the package. What are the wishes of the board?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wainwright, seconded by Commissioner Gamble. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Item number 4, request to waive the rental fee on Exhibition 2 for Antoine's Mentoring Through Music program. Does anybody want to discuss this? Anybody have any ideas, thoughts?
Chairman,
Mr. Harris.
just a brief comment. I met with Mr. Jones. As you know, he's been working with young people in the community. He's got a sound booth out there, and he helps them recording music and writing lyrics, etc. They don't have any experience singing in public. Would be an opportunity for them to, on a trial basis. The proposal here, what's being requested, is to use the Exhibition 2 twice a month for 3 months on a trial basis, and see if that helps his program or not. And he's asking that the fees be waived for the use of that facility during that time frame.
Okay. Well, I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, and I applaud him for it. I know that when we had discussed rental fees over there in the past, I don't know if we're waiving any fees now or not, Greg, are we? No. So I mean, if we start doing it for one, we got to start doing it for everybody. That's the only problem. So, what's the wishes of the board?
I've got a question. Does his insurance follow him in the activity that he's already got over there at the Douglas Center?
I don't know that his insurance is site-specific. I really don't know, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. I understand what he's trying to do. He's doing some really, really good things. He comes up here and he brings the youth up here and shows us what he's doing and all that. And then, you know, I mean, we kind of worked out that through the process of using that facility and the fees, the taxes that go towards paying for it. And we had said, well, you know, now from here on out, we're going to be fair. And I understand the heartburn with that.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer a motion of approval for just this trial basis only.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Wainwright. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fleming. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Aye. All right, moving on. Item number 5, authorization for chairman's signature on letter to DOT authorizing execution of supplemental agreement to include a portion of 104th Terrace and the paving of Hogan Road with scrap funds. Mr. Harris, can you give us any background on this?
This is a very unique, very rare opportunity that DOT has indicated that if we will go ahead and move forward with the request for this supplemental agreement, that they're believing that they can utilize leftover funds because the bids came in good, and they're indicating that they are willing to fund this small portion of 104.
How generous, how many feet are we talking about?
Oh, I don't know how many feet it is now.
I think the thing said 4,000 feet. Is that
I
right?
had it a moment ago. I don't have it.
Just less than a mile.
4,000 feet.
So they're
Just
going
less
to,
than a mile.
4,000 feet they're going to pay. Wow.
I don't know how many feet,
And
but it's
it's-
about $97,000 worth of feet.
Are we currently grading it?
No, that's actually been paved in the past, and the reason they said they would offer to do it because it already has a base, so they can pave over the base.
If I remember right, the dollar amount was around 97,000
and change.
Wow. All right. What are the wishes of the board?
Make motion approved.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Sessions, seconded by Commissioner Wainwright. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Moving on to item number 6, USDA resolution approval for loan for the library construction in Dowling Park. This all kind of stemmed from a letter that I received from SVEC that I was asked to sign, and I'll just read it in direct. I don't know, did you guys get a copy of it? Okay, I'll read it to you.
It was by email. I haven't looked at it.
All right, it says, let's see, Suwannee County Board of County Commissioners wishes to apply for a red leg, zero interest loan, $300,000 for a 10-year, 0% term to build a new 5,000 square foot library. This library will be located in Dowling Park on 10655 Dowling Park Drive in Live Oak, Florida. We anticipate providing 3 additional jobs at this facility. Loan funds from Suwannee Valley Electric Cooperative will provide $300,000 to the commission. The commission will secure the remaining $790,000 from the state grant. Commission general budget and local donations. This will bring the total investment for this project to $1,090,000. The project will provide the means and resources for long-distance learning for adults to improve their work skills and for students to have the infrastructure to reach out and communicate with the world. This new resource will also expand job opportunities for the residents of rural Suwannee County and help diversify and strengthen the county economy. We appreciate the support of the SVEC Board of Trustees to apply for these funds and will provide the information necessary to prepare an application for these USDA funds. We agree that the project can serve as a demonstration project in accordance with the provisions of the USDA's Rural Economic Development Loan and Grant Program. Sincerely, and it has my name at the bottom of it. So on behalf of the board, this is the letter that they have requested to include in the package for the grant. So in effect, it would come from all of us. And I think upon investigation of the paperwork that, in addition to this, that has to be signed, the attorney is prepared to make some comments with regard to the fact that we need to sign or pass a resolution of the board regarding this USDA Rural Economic Development Loans and Grant Program loans. But also, we also need to speak to the fact that the information contained in the letter is accurate from this point in time forward. So we need to be clear on the additional jobs at the facility and also the total investment for the project, so that whenever these issues come up and we have to make application for or continue with some paperwork, that the total investment for the project is accurate, and also the jobs and whatever else they may need in regards to this. So Mr. Pravat, I'm going to let Mr. Pravat speak to it, and then I think Ms. Lawrence is prepared to speak to it as well. Are you this evening? No. Okay. Well, if there's some, how about this? If there's some questions, then we'll have you. Mr. Pravat.
All right, thank you. Some months ago, y'all did approve making an application through Suwannee Valley Electric for the USDA Rural Economic Program. As it turns out, as part of the USDA requirements, it's just not that, and you authorized the chairman to go ahead and sign whatever application needed to do and for staff to take care of all of those things. But as part of the USDA requirements, they insist on having a resolution authorizing y'all to then make the application to Suwannee Valley Electric. And then they would like a letter from the board, again, asking Suwannee Valley to make the application, for it. And its part is just a hitch in what USDA, an additional USDA requirement. So I've drafted for your consideration this evening a resolution that basically says that, we would like to, encourage the board of Suwannee Valley Electric to make application to the USDA, and that we're going to use it, the $300,000, in support of the library, and that we promise we won't squander off the money in violation of the Code of Federal Regulations, and that we're going to go through the grant program and do it correctly as it comes through. So that's basically what the resolution says. But like I said, you've approved going ahead and making the application before, but this is a technical requirement that USDA requires on the part of the resolution. Now, as for the portion about the required letter, it was my concern that because we've recently approved the contract, for the construction of the library, and the numbers that we were anticipating that would be, and what we had initially told Suwannee Valley Electric the numbers would be, are different now. And so that I just wanted to make sure that when we do draft the letter for approval, that all of the numbers line up and they are what we are projecting at this time and not what we had previously projected, since now that we do have more finalized figures. So it's kind of two separate things, but if you approve the resolution also includes permission for the chairman and for administrative staff to, sign the letters and other things to go along with it. So really what I'm asking for is consideration of the resolution, and we'll get the figures in the letter balanced out whenever we get them nailed down.
Sure. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just one thing.
Commissioner Gamble.
The figures in there are not just total for the construction. You have the totals for construction.
I have the
along with equipment.
construction contract,
No, I got that.
yeah.
But the figures that were submitted to the grant people that were writing it was the construction amount that we thought that we budgeted was the $950.
No, actually, it was $1,090,000.
That's inclusive of opening day collection, equipment, shelving, everything that would go into it as well.
That's why I wanted to make sure on that, because it doesn't say that in the letter and in the initial application that they have there.
I
So we
understand
can
that. I just
separate.
wanted you to understand and make sure that you knew that it wasn't, that 1,090,000 something that they put in there wasn't strictly construction dollars that they were referring to, that it was construction along with the equipment and the operational supplies that would go in it.
Okay,
for the
if I could just
day.
have a breakdown of those,
That's fine.
Commissioner Gamble, and, we'll go from there.
Okay,
All
sounds
right,
good.
thank you. Again, I'm back to the resolution is what we have at hand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pravat. All right, let's handle the resolution. Does anybody have anything that they would request to be changed in the resolution that's set before you right now? Hearing none, what are the wishes of the board?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Commissioner Fleming, seconded by Commissioner Gamble. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right.
Thank you.
The only other thing is, I just wanted to ask the board that they would be okay with me signing the letter requesting from Suwannee Valley that they apply for this, contingent upon the changes approved by the attorney. Is that okay? Is
Okay with me.
that okay?
It's good, Mr. Chairman.
I'm fine with it.
All right. All right, let's go back to our agenda here. Let's see, that's the last item that we have, unless there's anything else that anybody wants to discuss.
I'd like to discuss one thing. Last meeting, we discussed at length the Sable Trail issues and possibly coming through our county and crossing the river a couple times. I'd like to propose that staff make up a letter or a proposal to restrict the pipeline, or maybe have the pipeline avoid all karst areas and wetlands coming through our county. We're trying to avoid this pipeline coming through the county to protect the aquifer, to protect the river. So not exactly got all the wording right, but I think it's something we need to pay attention to and take care of.
Okay.
Because I believe we still have time to curtail this issue coming down through our state.
Understood. So your request is that staff would draft a letter for consideration maybe at the next meeting, is that what you're asking for? And then something that we can consider so that we can make a decision on the wording?
Right, and I'll try to get the wording better to you in the meantime, but basically to avoid the pipeline from coming through our county.
Avoid the county in its entirety.
Right.
All right, does anybody have any heartburn with that?
No, I'd also like to add that, to that, the resolution that we approved at the last meeting regarding it, I think we sent it to FERC, but could we also forward that on to Army Corps of Engineers?
Corps of
if we have it?
Engineers, yeah.
Yeah, sure, it's in Jacksonville, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got an address here for them
All right.
if we need it.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, anything else? All right, we're moving on to public concerns and comments area, item number 10. We have a couple here this evening. We'll listen to first Mrs. Jenny Hancock. She wants to give us an announcement regarding Christmas at the Heritage Park. And we'd like to welcome up Ms. Hancock and just remind everybody as she makes her way up there to just state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium.
My name is Jenny Hancock, 6135 Wiggins Road, Live Oak. I am a board member at Heritage Park and Gardens, and on December 19th, we will have what we call Christmas at Heritage Park, and we wish to invite everybody to come out. We will be having a lot of things for the kids and for the adults. There will be inflatable bounce houses, inflatable slides, Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will be there, tours of the house, just lots and lots of things. This is our way of giving back to the community. So we invite y'all to come, and I will remind y'all again next meeting.
Right. What are the times? What are the times for that?
And it's 10:30 to 2.
10:30 to 2. Okay, excellent.
Mark
All
your
right, so
calendar.
December 19th, 10:30 to 2 p.m.
Yes.
Is there anything else we need to bring with us, or just bring ourselves?
Bring yourself, bring your youngins.
All right, we'll do it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mrs. Hancock.
Bring them anyway.
All right, next person up, Deborah Johnson. Come on down. She's going to talk, she's going to talk to us about the river crossing issues due to pipeline and more.
Well, I think the river crossing issue, everybody's got the idea on that, correct? My name's Deborah Johnson, P.O. Box 803, Live Oak, Florida, sorry. I'm sorry, Wellborn, Florida. Anyway, the river crossings are a problem, so the whole area is. I think the maps that you were given at the last meeting showed that, if anybody took a chance to look at it. But I really, the and more is the HB 191 and Senate Bill 318 going through the Senate right now. Pro-fracking, fracking for Florida. The Florida Association of Counties, aren't you all a member of that? Okay.
We are.
Okay, I believe y'all should have received from former Leon County Commissioner Cliff Thale, sent letters to every commissioner in the state ahead of the Florida Association of Counties voting against this, to support this bill. These bills. Do y'all recall getting any letters? No?
I didn't get one.
Okay. I heard others didn't either, so this is a newspaper article, okay? It's just some news. Anyway, the Florida Association of Counties general membership voted unanimously to oppose the measures, preemption measures, along with provisions in the bills that would exempt chemicals used in the process from public disclosure. It would also do away with any local zoning ordinances adopted before 2015 that have to do with gas exploration, development, production, processing, storage, and transportation. In other words, they are going to take your power, your right to govern away from our county. Okay, they're including that in this bill. And, you know, just a couple of years ago, they did HB 703, and that was Petronas, my favorite ex-senator who's on the board of the PSC, who approved Sabal Trails Pipeline, but needless to say, that didn't pass. And in that bill, they would have taken all of y'all's rights to set land on land use regulations and comp plans, and made it a state thing. I think this is something you should be aware of, that maybe you want to follow through with. I will be attending tomorrow a subcommittee hearing in Tallahassee about this matter. There are two bills that are designed to regulate fracking, but they are not moving. This one's moving through the House, and it will also affect local governance. So I'll let you know about that. Are there any questions about the river crossing, about the karst, about any of that scientific information that was in the packet? Anybody got any questions? Everybody's got the general idea. You know, I think Mr. Sessions Commissioner Sessions, has a great idea. It would be nice to pass it as a resolution. And if so, please send it to the Army Corps of Engineers and to FERC also. I think it's time that we protect our water, or else we won't be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Johnson,
Mr.
would you
Batt?
repeat for me, please, the the House bill number and the
Sure.
Senate bill number under consideration?
HB 191,
Okay,
SB 318.
all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, by the way, those were sponsored by Ray Rodriguez.
With an S.
Yeah,
There's two of them.
yeah, with an S, and Senator Richker. Okay.
Rick,
Yeah, they did the same thing last year. It just failed because they had this big tax thing. Anyway, their counties oppose it. As a matter of fact, there are over 8 million people in Florida that oppose fracking in Florida. Over 43 counties and cities have banned fracking. And I would ask that you consider doing it. I know that we don't have any oil, anything, but I think in solidarity with the state and to stand against this obvious attempt to take over our state by the gas and oil companies to protect us. Thank you.
thank you.
Hello, Michael Mitchell, 501 Helvinston. I just wanted to let you all know that we had a very successful event with the raid on the Suwannee back in November. I want to thank everyone here, the commissioners. I want to thank the Parks and Recreation. I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank Mr. Sessions with Suwannee Valley Transit. We had a good event. Our board of Heritage Park has voted that we can have it again next year. This was our second event. We're going to do it again next year. I just wanted to let everyone that came, thank them for showing up. Thank everyone that did help us out. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. All right. In regards to the fracking comments, I did talk to the offices of the sponsors of the legislation, and they do understand that the provision in the bill that is basically in effect cutting out home rule was kind of a morphing of what they had intended that to be. I've also spoke with Senator Dean's office regarding that. Last year when they tried to pass this, he offered an amendment to take that out of there, and he fully intends on doing the same thing this time. And his office felt like that there would be multiple people, multiple legislators that would request that amendment to occur in that legislation. So I know that the sponsors are aware of it and will probably not resist that coming out of it. There was another piece of troubling information in there regarding this in that bill, those bills that were referenced there, that said that any legislation or policy or zoning that was passed after January 1st of this year would become null and void by any county or municipality. So that was troubling as well. I think there was only one municipality that had beaten that date, and I think it was Bonita Springs. So whether you believe it or not, we do take an interest in some of the things that you say, and we do follow up. So that's all I can say about that. I have talked to the DEP governmental liaison. They feel like the report that he gave me was fairly positive in regards to the fact that there would, at the very least, that fracking would be regulated after this whole process. Now, he couldn't comment on any of the bills because they don't. They just simply are a regulatory agency. So, so we are interested. We are taking an interest in what's going on just to become educated in the thing. As far as the pipeline goes, you know, I think the only hope is that you would have at this point, based upon the information that I've received, would be from the Army Corps of Engineers if they had any interest whatsoever in helping us out. So I think that that would probably be the best way to go on that particular issue. But anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Going on to administrators' comments and information, you have anything for us this evening, Mr. Harris?
Let me just say, I'm very encouraged that I think the possibility exists that we may receive funds for
For,
that rail.
good deal.
You know, I talked about CDBG before, we're proceeding, we're getting
Having
a waiver.
difficulty hearing you.
Really?
Your microphone is not on or
Maybe
something
indicate.
like that. Talk into it like a CB radio.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe my volume is turned down. Hold on.
Button to ring.
That's all.
I can hear it.
Right.
We may receive funding from DOT for the railroad. We've received some pretty good indication that our request for funding from Department of Transportation to construct the railroad at the Catalyst site may come through. Last meeting, I reported some encouraging news regarding our request for a community development block grant to help fund that. So we're getting closer, and I'm hoping to have an agreement very soon. But I just want to report, that's the latest on the railroad.
And how much do you think they're going to, is the number
I
undetermined?
don't. I don't know what to anticipate, but my request for agencies that are asking is that I need $5 million at least.
Right.
So
We got 1.4 allocated so far.
we have just over 1.3 right now.
Okay.
So I'm asking for $5 million from everyone that will listen.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, keep us abreast of that. Item number 12, board members' inquiries, requests, and comments. We'll start down at your end, Commissioner Wainwright.
Actually, I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman. I had a great Thanksgiving with my family. I hope everybody else did.
Excellent. Excellent. Commissioner Gamble.
I just want to thank the board for the 5-0 vote not approving the library. Thank everybody that's here tonight for coming out and support it. Y'all been a good support group. It's been a long road, and we got there. I thank y'all for coming out and continuing to support it, and I thank y'all for y'all's continued support.
Thank you. Commissioner Fleming.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Sessions.
Being the rookie on the board, I was told when I first got here that we have an exceptional relationship with the DOT, and that proof has happened tonight with them extending that extra 4,000 feet to us. That they're handling that. It's due to the relationships. Mr. Harris, Debbie, some of the other companies that works with us on the private side and their relationships. And without all them, and timing was right, it just worked out. And I just want to thank everybody that was involved.
Good deal. Thank you. Yeah, they're DOT is to be commended, the road department, administration. They just work hand in glove with DOT, and they've been very kind to our county, and we're so very, very thankful for them. And I hope we can keep that relationship going by being able to fund the projects that they give us money for. That's the challenge this coming year. The only thing I have is, I don't know if you have had an opportunity, board members, to ride around the Coliseum complex since it was put under Parks and Recreation, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to Greg and his staff over there. If you haven't had a chance to ride around the Coliseum complex and notice just some of the little things that they've done to really kind of make things pop over there a little bit, the weed eating, the spraying, the little fences that have been put up, stuff like that, really, they've really done a good job to maintain that county taxpayer asset. So I just wanted to I was riding around the other day, and I just wanted to tell you and tell your staff you're doing a phenomenal job over there. So I think that was a good move by the board. Okay, we'll give hats off to Mark as well. So, thank you very much. Anyhow, other than that, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. And we look forward to our next board meeting here in December. It'll be right before Christmas, so bring your, I don't know if we'll have a Christmas tree up, but bring your gifts if you got some, and pass our gifts around. And we'll just do that. All I need is one thing.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Gamble, seconded by Commissioner Wainwright. All in favor say aye. Aye. See you next time. Y'all drive safe.